done in this ever-changing business environment? How have you been coping? Would like to know. You can leave your you can leave how everything has been. You can just, leave that in the chat box so that we can just briefly talk about that. OJK Spotless Company, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. It's always delightful to have you on the call. Oh, Z Clothing, I bet. We know how frustrating it can be. We're so sorry. We hope that this whole situation changes very soon. We know that it's not going to keep being like this. Thank you for keeping on and staying resilient. We appreciate you. Right, triple that. No matter how much we say that we understand what you're talking about, we cannot truly feel how you're feeling. We know how it's been, even for us as individuals, it's really been affecting us, not to talk of you business owners. Well done, well done, well done. Kudos to you. We truly hope that this whole thing, gets resolved very soon so that your businesses can kick back up. Well done for staying consistent. Businesses, like I earlier mentioned, with the full implementation of the cashless policy, it's been really challenging on individuals, not to talk of the small business owners. We truly know that this whole thing has been affecting a lot of things, especially with payments, and the shortage of cash is really been overwhelming. And so today we'll be talking about the benefits of the cashless system and how you can properly implement it in your businesses, to leverage on your business, because with the ever-changing environment and the policies, it is important for businesses to stay on track, to sometimes go with the trend of the business environment, to keep their customers with them, to retain their customers, and to even, attract prospective customers, because when this full cashless policy with its full effect, a lot of people would be performing cashless transactions. And so you need to put proper measures in place for your customers to be able to, effectively buy things with ease and purchase from you to go with the system. So right before we introduce our speaker for today is from Ghana. And although he's not yet on the call, I would like to just do a brief introduction before it comes right on. So our speaker today is from Ghana. Patrick Baah Abankwa is a chartered banker and a chartered financial advisor, investment analyst rather, with over 8 years of experience. Okay, so Patrick has experience in mainstream banking. He's currently the head of member experience, regulations, and business development at the Institute of Bankers in Ghana. Patrick has been teaching on savings, investments, and financial independence for over 5 years. And so we mean it when we say that we brought an industry expert to actually shed more light on the benefits of the cashless system and how you can better leverage it in your businesses.
And you can't perhaps.
I'd like to do a reintroduction because I did the previous introduction in his absence. So right before we start the session proper, I'd like to reintroduce our speaker. Our speaker for today is a chartered banker and a chartered global investment analyst with over 8 years experience in mainstream banking. He's currently head of member experience, regulations, and business development at the Chartered Institute of Bankers in Ghana. Patrick has been teaching on savings, investment, and financial independence for over 5 years. So we actually did bring an industry expert today to shed more light and give useful insights and guidelines on how you can better leverage on the cashless system. Join me as we make welcome of our speaker of today from Ghana, Patrick Baah Abankwa. You're very welcome. You all can leave your clapping emojis in the chat box to encourage our speaker. Thank you. Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Sorry for joining a bit late.
No, it's fine. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining in and for accepting to do this with us. Thank you. So yeah, we can start the session proper now. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, leadership of the platform for the opportunity to share a few words on how we can reposition ourselves as businesses in times like this. I hope you can see my face well.
Right,
okay, so do I have your permission to share my screen?
Yes, please. You can go ahead.
Okay, so it looks as if my sharing is disabled. So if you can give me the access.
Okay.
It's working now.
Okay, great.
So I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, so I believe I can start now.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I have 20 minutes to try and walk everybody through what I think we should do as businesses are going cashless. I'm sure the MC has already introduced me, so I won't talk much about myself. So my name is Patrick Baah Abankwa, and I'm presenting from Ghana on behalf of Patrick TVGH, my YouTube channel. So this is going to be the outline of my presentation. We'll look at what a cashless economy means. We'll look at the benefits and downside of cashless economies for small businesses. Then we'll look at how small businesses can adopt this change. Then the steps that we need to take going forward and some of the things that we should avoid so that we will not go into some business losses. So that's the outline of my presentation. So let's look at the Nigerian story. And I'm sure some of us may be new to cashless system, but others, I'm sure you have a bit of experience when they come to the cashless system. So I want us to just walk through the Nigerian story from the day Nigeria was created, which I say the day of Adam, to December 31st, 2022, until the central bank brought in the final announcement of certain processes going cashless. So I'm sure most of us can relate to this. So this is a Nigerian story before the new announcement. So when you go to the market, you want to buy something, we valued taking physical cash. So you can see a woman with a physical cash, looks as if she sells tomatoes and a few other things at the market. So this is the traditional way of doing business where you want to feel the money in your arms and your hands. Then I'm sure we can also relate to this particular example, because most of us are from Nigeria. This is also very common in Ghana, where you board a public transport and you have to pay with cash. So that's the pre-cashless society or economy. But as we all know, the world is changing, and it's not just changing in Ghana or Nigeria or in Africa. It's something that's already started so many years ago in developing countries and even developed countries. So the tendency for it to get to a country like Nigeria or Ghana is very high. So we are moving away from now doing transactions with physical cash into what we call the cashless system. So this picture that you are seeing, with time, give ourselves about 2-3 years. We are not going to board a public transport and give in Ghana, we call them mates. That's the person that is taking the money, physical cash. You are going to pay with some form of electronic medium. So this is as it is. But we want to go to as we move. That's the new economy, and it's starting 2023 in Nigeria. And I'm sure there's a whole lot of discussions as we speak about what people should do. And she's able to transact, receive payment with an iPad without any struggle. So that is the future of cashless system. Again, you go and you board a public transport or an Uber, just as we saw with the other picture. This time you don't want to pay with cash. You want to pay with your Visa card, MasterCard, or your debit card, or even in some cases you want to pay with your credit card. That is the future, and the future, as I said, is now. And this is where businesses whether you are a small business or medium business, this is where you should be positioning your firm going forward, because what I showed earlier on is something that even if you decide not to participate in it today, with time, you'll be taken out of the equation, because other people will be giving their customers comfort that you cannot do. So this picture that you are seeing on your screen is the 2023 as at now, what we want to do going forward, where you don't pay for items or services with physical cash, but we pay with some medium that we are going to talk about very soon. So I just pulled this report on how the cashless system has been running in other countries and in other continents. So when you look at the bottom of the stats that I'm sharing, it says that 3 out of 10 people in Britain have never written a check as we speak today. 3 out of 10 people who are from Britain under the age of 35 have never written a check before. That is something that we should all be wrapping our minds around. It means that when you go to Britain and someone's under the age of 35 years, the person transacts businesses without writing check. When you go to the same Britain, it says 5 out of 10 people under the age of 25 have also not written check before. So people below the age of 25 years transact businesses without writing check. So even check that we say is part of the cashless system, with time, people will move away from check. So if your business is built around receiving payment with check, and you don't innovate with the cashless system that is upon us now, chances are that you'll be losing out on certain category of customers that will not see the need to do business with you. When you go to South Africa and Kenya, we say that they are the countries that have the most significant adopted cashless systems in Africa. And we all know that when it comes to technology, South Africa and Kenya are up there, even rubbing shoulders with some developed countries. In South Africa, for example, 43% of South Africans and 27% of Kenyans have adopted cashless system. And this is something that will be hitting the Nigerian market very soon with this new system that has been introduced and the kind of measures that the central bank or federal government is trying to put in place to ensure that people do not transact more businesses with cash. So what are the payment platform that we should consider as businesses embracing this new feed of cashless system? The first thing that we should find out and we should be able to put together is, what kind of system can I use to make payment or receive payment by way of people giving me their credit card or debit card? And in Ghana, we call it ATM card. I don't know the name that you call it in Nigeria, but when you have a MasterCard, where the MasterCard is linked to your bank account, you can only use the card when you have money in your account. We call it debit card. So as a business owner, whether you are small or big, what can you do now going forward, next year, this year, that people will come to your end and they will pay with your card? And that's the system we call the POS system, point of sale system. How much is it costing now? What kind of investment should I put in place now, between now and let's say 2 years time, so that people will come to me and they will not pay with cash? That's one system. The second system that is very common and we can all implement now is the mobile payment system. Mobile payment system is basically the use of short code or registering a merchant line so that people will come to you and they pay with mobile money in Nigeria. So this is very simple that you can easily implement now if you have not already started. If you have started to and you are still doing cash and mobile money along the line, you may want to educate your customers more so that when they come to you, you will not be engrossed with so much cash, because you are still living in the old of accepting cash for your payment. Again, we also have, in Ghana, we have what we call the ECD or eCash. And Nigeria too, I know it has been implemented, or it's in the process of being implemented, which is a virtual currency, where people will also be able to transact business with you, not by way of their Visa card or MasterCard or mobile money, but they've been able to buy some currency in Naira somewhere where they can use to pay for the goods that they are buying from you. So it's something that you should also sit back to see, what kind of systems can I put in place to be able to accept this virtual currency and be able to still meet the needs of my customers, especially if you want your business to go global, where people can buy your goods from any other country, and by way of having a platform to be able to transact and send their currencies to you or even buy with the e-Naira, you'll be able to still meet these people and expand the kind of sales that you do monthly or even weekly. Then, of course, you have other electronic payment apps. So can I also create an app to receive payment on my behalf? When you create an app, the good thing is that you can link the app to your bank account so that people will just go on the app, pay for the thing, you receive instant payment, then you'll be able to deliver the goods to them. So these are, the key platforms that as business owners, you should begin to think about. First of all, it comes with cost. What are the things that you should do to be able to raise funds to meet this kind of platforms that people will now have to focus on? And don't forget, even though the older generation may not accept the cashless system as fast as the younger generation, with time, they will also begin to learn. But if you're a business and you are very small, I will say that depending on the kind of business you are doing, focus on the younger generation. And this is where you can easily get the younger generation by selling off some of these products to be able to hook onto them, develop customer loyalty as you move forward and you want to expand your business. So these are the 4 platforms that we can consider as business owners. Let's look at the pros and cons. What are the benefits of a cashless system and the limitations? Let's look at the benefits. Of course, when you are going cashless, it means that you will not be having physical cash on you. And once there's no physical cash, people who are on the penchant of attacking people will not have a lot of ways to attack people, and that leads to lower crime, because people know that if they're able to attack people using their Visa card, MasterCard, POS platform, mobile money, they can easily be tracked, unlike when they are doing just physical robbery. So it brings down crime. Again, it leads to reduction of tax evasion. Now, everything is online. When you have to file your tax, the goods and services you've sold, the revenue you have made, because you are filing it online, people cannot evade tax because the system will automatically calculate how much tax you have to bring on board. The same as money laundering. People cannot just go and rob and bring the money into the banking system, or go and do some illegal deals, bring it to the banking system, because even the banks are not even going to accept huge deposits going forward, because everything should be done electronically. So it's a good side of the cashless system. Again, it's also easy to transfer funds for goods sold. So, for example, someone comes to you and the person is buying something that is worth so much. The person will have to sometimes go to the bank, go and withdraw money and bring it to you. But with a cashless system, instantly they can transfer money from the account or use the Visa card or use the more money, and you receive instant payment and the transaction ends there. You also have control by your spending habit, because everything you do is electronic. You can easily track and have records of what you use your money for as a business owner, because everything that you do, there's a tracer, the date that you will do the amount that you will do, what you use it for. You're able to keep everything, and that becomes a way of tracking your expenses. Of course, we all know that if everything goes cashless, corruption will be very expensive, because when someone is engaging in some corrupt practices, there's a trace of what they are using the money for, so they can't run away. But in spite of all the good things I've just said about cashless system, there are some downside that we need to also be mindful of as business owners. One, there's an issue of data privacy. All the platforms I mentioned, you have to key in your data, your name, everything that about you. So if the central government and the authorities do not ensure that people's data are protected, it's going to create a problem, because people can now mine data and sell it off at a higher price just for people to attack others. So that's something that the federal government should put in place measures to keep all those things. Again, there can be technical issues. We all know that, in Ghana and Nigeria, technology, internet can be very frustrating. So someone can make a payment to you and you will not see that the payment has come, but the person's account has been debited. It can create a bit of confusion between you and the customer. Of course, as I said, older generation will not be comfortable with this platform, because they think, it's more for the youth. And therefore, if you have a customer who is older, the person may not accept, even when you are trying to introduce any of the payment platform that I mentioned earlier on. So these are the pros and cons that we should be mindful of when it comes to cashless system. The mere fact that you are aware of it means that you have to put in place some measures to curb the cons and elevate the benefit that comes with the pros. So what actions should we take as we speak as a business person if you're on this call? The first thing is that you have to invest in the necessary technology, as I've said. All the platforms that I mentioned, which of them can I easily start investing in? If it's more money that you don't need so much money, you invest in it as we speak now. Instead of complaining and having issues to do with the authorities, first thing as a business owner, invest in technology. That's the first thing you have to do. 2, people that are working for you that will be using the technology that you have invested or you are going to invest in, please train them. Technology evolves with time. So even if the person knew about a thing last year and you are introducing a new thing today, don't assume that your staff understand it or you yourself, you understand the platform. Go through some form of training. There are a lot of courses that you can pick online or even training programs that you have to take your staff through so that they'll be able to handle the technology and handle it well so that there will not be any losses. If the people are not trained well, they cannot manage their platform. And once they cannot manage the platform, it can also lead to you incurring more losses. Then again, there are things that you may not be able to do on your own as a business owner. So you have to partner with some digital platforms. In Ghana, we call them TechFins or FinTechs. These are technology support payment platform that you can easily go into an agreement with. They will give you the necessary support for you to implement some of this payment system that I mentioned. So find out which of them aligns with your vision. If your business is small, which of them can easily help you to grow. So get that partner to be able to implement the system that you have in mind to implement because your customers are growing. Again, once you train your staff, you bring the necessary technology to back the system, please, let's try and invest in educating your customers. Sensitize them, let them understand the reason why they have to appreciate and accept the new payment platform. Don't continue to accept the cash because your customers do not want it. Educate them. Everything can be changed with education. So when you educate them and let them know the pros, the benefit of them even paying with an electronic platform, it helps you, the business owner, to create value for them. They will now begin to see the value you are creating for them. For example, you can just tell them that if you are using the platform, it takes you away from issue of, let's say, robbery. People will not always see you with cash, and armed robbers cannot even attack you. Once you educate them with time to time, they will begin to understand and reason with you why they have to go cashless with you. Again, once you set up the cashless system, it helps you to monitor the spending pattern of your customers. So you'll be able to have data on all your customers. For example, Monday, this customer came in, you know the name, he bought 200 cedis worth of, let's say, an item. The following Monday, he comes again, buys another 200 cedis of item. You'll be able to analyze and know every customer of yours, the pattern that they are going with, how much do they buy and which of the days do they buy. So it even helps you to maintain a proper stock level when it comes to ensuring that you are practicing efficiency of goods that you are selling. So data is very important with a cashless system. And as a business owner, once you get the data, make sure you are mining the data well to get an understanding of the behavior pattern of your customers who buy your goods or use your services. So what are the effective ways that you should go about all the things I've said? As we struggle to move away from the traditional to the electronic payment system because of the cashless initiative that has been introduced by the federal government, the first thing you need to do is that do proper analysis of your processes today. The processes that you use in buying your goods or selling your goods, what are the things that comes with extra cost that you can manage? So find ways and means to manage your costs as you try to build up a lot of funds to be able to pay or purchase a payment platform. So cut your cost. Again, utilize digital marketing strategies. So if you are used to kind of doing businesses on the tabletop, people walk to you. As you go cashless, people will also be finding ways and means to do business with you online. So what kind of online platforms can you use to be able to still attract your customers? So I'm saying one, you can look at creating a website if it's possible. If you have the means to create a website, or search engine optimization. So where's keywords and certain words, phrases and hashtags that will be able to attract the target market that you are looking at. You can also invest in content marketing. There are people that will just write about your product in a very nice way, in a storytelling way. Invest some money into that so that they'll create traffic for the business that you are running. You can also be doing email marketing. As you get emails from customers, you have to create content that to be sharing to them to always create awareness about your product. The next thing is social media marketing. And I'm sure if you're on this call and you don't have a social media presence for your business, in this cashless system, you are going to go out of business very soon. So make sure you create platforms on social media where you can also be able to reach out to the masses in Nigeria so that they'll get to know of your product and also get to know the payment platform that they can use to buy or sell something from you. So it's very important. So these are the digital marketing strategies that you should implement as we go digital now. Again, when you get the data, I said this earlier on, mine the data, get and analyze the data that you are taking from your customers by way of the platform that you created, and use that to one, offer them discounts, which I'm going to talk about very soon, and also give them some kind of idea of what you intend to do going forward. This kind of cashless system also gives us an idea, an opportunity to develop new products and services. There are new products that may not have worked because you were doing cash, but now you are doing digital cashless system. There are new products that to be able to create to meet the customer needs that are changing. So it's something that you should also be mindful and take note of. Again, as I said earlier on, what are the online platforms that you can introduce in these times? You have to also find out if it's about creating a portal, a payment platform portal like we can see. So this portal, the business has created an online presence where people can see their products and services and also shop using other means to pay for the goods that they are buying and selling. So that's also something that you can do. Again, as you change the face of how people transact business with you, one of the things that I always advise people should do to create value is that let's try and see whether we can run some promotional campaigns around this time. So tell someone that if you buy something from me and you are paying with, let's say, POS, or you are paying with your Momo, I'll give you 5% discount, I'll give you 10% discount. It's something that you can look and implement around this time, because that is what will give you the leverage. People are now talking about it, people are not ready to accept it. But the moment you give them an incentive by way of a discount, it creates value and brings attention to you. So this is something that I also advise that people will consider around this time. If you want to indeed implement some payment platform, put some discounts and promotion around it so that you drive the necessary attention and details that you need. In a cashless system, what will make you stand out from your competitor is to give the customer an experience. People are already scared of going cashless. So once you as a business person innovate and change your way of accepting cash or accepting payment, what kind of experience are you going to give them? The first experience you can give them is to advise them, counsel them on things that you have to do to create value for them. Support them when they come to your shop and they are having challenges with a payment platform or making payment. You don't shout at them. This is the best time to walk them through step by step. This is what you have to do. Again, be mindful of their feelings. People who come to like older generation, they don't care about anything about technology. All they care is that I want to pay with cash. How do you get into their mind? Again, create quality product and services in a cashless system so that people will know that they are not just buying or paying for a good that they can easily get from someone, but they are paying for something that is offering them value beyond the item that they are buying. Again, competence, help, satisfaction, and services after they bought the goods and services is something that we should also consider. So customer experience is very, very, very critical in times like this as we go into a cashless system. In conclusion, these are the three things that I want you to take home from today's session. I'm saying that small businesses should adopt this change. Don't fight the change. Adopt the change by investing in the necessary technology. Because whether you fight it today or fight it tomorrow, it has come to stay and it will be developed going forward. So accept it and develop the right technology or the payment platform, as I shared, to be able to meet the needs. And once you develop the platform, it does not end. Train your staff to use it. You yourself be educated on how to use it. 2, partner with the digital payment platforms or providers that I mentioned to be able to help you to develop the right payment system that will meet the needs of your customers. And again, learn to use all your cashless platforms well, so that at the end of the day, your business will begin to blossom and business will be able to grow. At the same time, you are maintaining a financial discipline when it comes to your spending habits as a business owner or as an individual. So this will be by way of a summary of what I think business should do when it comes to accepting changing times when going to a cashless system or accepting a digital platform that are being implemented, which will have an impact on your business either today or next year. Thank you very much.
So much for that very insightful one. Thank you very much, Patrick. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. Thank you. We do not take it for granted at all. So now that if you have any questions, kindly indicate by the show of hand. We will be taking 2 audio questions and the remaining questions will be going in the chat box. Okay, so now we do, but before we go ahead with that, we learned a whole lot of things in the session. I'm sure that if you were taking notes, your notes will be full by now. We learned to properly educate ourselves about it. The speaker also what's it called now? The speaker also mentioned that we need to not run away from this system. We need to adapt to it because it has come to stay. The world is going digital and it's important for business owners to also move with that trend. Okay, so we'll be taking questions from Tripuda and Adewale Adedipupo, but Tripuda will be going first. So Tripuda, you can go now. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Patrick. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the class. I was awesome and I felt a little bit relieved. But I have this question I'd like to put across to you. When it comes to confirming payments, because there are lots of fake alerts, and at times when people make payments, it bounces back to the customer's accounts later, maybe because of the traffic on the app now. So I want to ask, when a customer representative or a staff of a business collects money on behalf of the business, how do we sort the alert stuff? Is it okay to open a particular person from the sales representative to have access into the business account so that they'll be able to confirm check, or there's a particular way to go about it so that it won't be the director or the owner of the business that will always be called, please, let me confirm this payment, please let me confirm this amount, please let me I don't know if there's a way to go around it that can help relieve us in confirming payments now that everything is going digital. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I guess I can answer now.
Yes, sir, you can.
Yes, so if you ask me, this is what I would say. So once you are a business owner, I'm sure you have people that you dedicated certain roles to. So someone may be in charge of stock, someone may be in charge of your account and all that. I would suggest that you put the one in charge of account, you give that person the how do I even put it? The permission to receive alert or have access to account details, not necessarily to maybe sign on the account or be able to withdraw, but we should be able to have access to confirm payments that are hitting your account. Because if everything is coming to you as a business owner, you cannot at some point in time receive and even be effective, because you end up doing the everyday operational work. At the same time, you also have to be thinking strategic about how the business can improve. So I would advise that one, you go in and get someone to be trained. If the account person is not trained, the person should be trained to be able to manage that. That's one. Two, you should also have, I don't know the system that is in Nigeria, but the business owner should be able to have internet banking services where they can easily, quickly log into the account to check whether payment has indeed been done. If payment has not been done or the ID has been generated but it hasn't hit an account, you should be able to quickly call the bank or the RM relationship manager to be able to confirm whether indeed the transaction details that the person has given you as evidence is indeed true, and whether they haven't challenged at their end before it will hit your account. So this is something that you can easily do within a matter of, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. You should always give yourself a bit of space to be able to confirm some of these payments, we shouldn't be in a rush to confirm payment because you think you want to satisfy the customer. As you said, there are a lot of scam around the system. So people also want to find ways and means to use dubious means. Sometimes you can even have insider at the bank to be able to do this kind of connivance. So you should be able to track and verify it yourself from the internet banking platform, or the dedicated officer should get in touch with the bank to confirm the payment that has indeed been issued before goods are released or services are rendered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for that wonderful revelation, right? So that's what I'll call it, because some of these business owners and even myself probably would not know like the due process to have put in place. Thank you for shedding light on that. We'll be taking the next question from Adewale Adedupupo. Adewale, you can go ahead and ask your question, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Mr. Patrick, and thanks for the lecture. Though I came in late, I didn't know that the time has been changed to 10:30. So he mentioned something that we should invest in necessary technologies, and I don't know if he has mentioned it before I came in. So now my question, I want to cite an example. There was a day I went to somewhere to purchase some goods. So, and there's no catch, so I need to transfer. So when I transfer, the person has to receive my number again. I mean, she collected my number that for in case. So, because my question is going in line with what the other sister asked, because there may be some issue that if the money bounce back, or there was delay in the delivery, because there are some venture that if they not receive alert, you have to wait until they receive the alert before you can leave there. Now, with the answer Mr. Patrick gave the other time, do I get to understand better? So please, I want him to mention the technology he has said earlier. Thank you, and shed more light on it.
Okay, so for the purpose of the question, I will go back to the platform that I mentioned. So can you see my slides? Yeah, so for the platforms, I mentioned 4 platforms that you can use at the moment. One is a debit card or credit card. And if you have invested in a POS system, you can easily use a debit card or credit card to get instant payment. 2, you can use a mobile money platform. So either you develop a short code that people will use to pay you, or you can just give them your mobile money account or number. They will just transfer the money to you. Or 3, if you have developed the e-Naira. I don't know the state of e-Naira now, but where you can also create and send money through the digital platform by buying some crypto or something, so you can use that. These are the platforms. Then the final one is an electronic payment platform. So that can also be implemented. So these are the 4 platforms that you can implement depending on the kind of investment you want to put in and the amount of money you have to do that kind of the platforms, and look at which one works for you. I would advise that as much as you can, and if you have the funds, you go with 2 platforms, so that if one platform goes down, you can still use the other platform. So for example, if the person tried to use the debit card or let's say electronic payment and it's not going through, it's having challenge, can the person use the more money to also send the same money to you and get instant confirmation? So you have to consider the various platforms so that you don't keep the customer stranded. And if the customer is stranded, next time they will not be comfortable doing business with you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure Mr. Patrick already answered your question. Thank you very much. We also have one last question in the chat box. It says, how, as small business owners, how can we avoid fake alerts? So we'd like you to briefly talk on that. We know that you'll be leaving shortly, so if you can briefly just help us answer that question for you. Thank you.
Okay, so is it the issue of the fake alert?
Yes.
Yes, so as I said, once you are confirming with the bank or the platform that you are using, the issue of fake alerts is eliminated. So for example, someone comes to you and sends you more money, and you get an alert which looks as if it's genuine. Quickly, you can just go and check your balance itself. So that's what happens in Ghana. People will just send you an alert as if they've sent the money. Meanwhile, it's not coming from the mobile money platform. So just go and check your account balance itself to be sure indeed you've received money on that account before you release the goods to the person. Because in the process of dealing with the person, if you don't, there's any lapse along the line, you'll be in serious trouble. And you assume that the message is coming from the mobile money network. Meanwhile, it's just the person sending you some alert from somewhere. So it's important that, first of all, go and check your balance to be sure your balance is as it is, plus the new money that you receive. If it's a bank transfer, open the internet banking platform, check your balance, or even call your RM, relationship manager, to confirm if there's money before you release the goods. Because if the person moves away, you can't get the person back, and the person's identity cannot be seen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that very insightful one. Thank you for the profound insights. I'm sure the small business owners have taken a whole lot of lessons from this. And I'm sure that if they were taking notes, I'm sure that a lot of, with the guidelines and the old benefits and everything that you've stated is going to be proper to now implement these, and it will cause ease for their business and also help them retain their customers. You mentioned that as small business owners, they should put in, we've learned that they need to put different payment platforms in place. We've also learned that it's very important for them to educate their customers. It's also important for them to train their staffs to be able to carry out these transactions very seamlessly. Thank you so much for your time. We had a wonderful time. My note is full. Even I have learned a lot of things. Thank you so much for the whole accepting to be here, for doing this with us. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. And I want to say a big thank you to everybody on the call who joined and those who asked questions and all that. And I want to wish all Nigerians a peaceful election. I know you have your elections very soon. So I want to wish you a peaceful election, that there shouldn't be any fight. Please, we beg you, you are brothers. We don't want you to fight.
Right.
Make sure you're always safe.
Thank you so much. That is very, very important. Thank you very much. That's very thoughtful of you. Thank you. We appreciate you. Bye.
Thank you too. Thank you too.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So after with the whole thing that we've learned on the session, thank you everyone. I'm sure that everybody is going in now with new knowledge, fresh suggestions, fresh observations, and even better ways to leverage on this cashless system, because it has come to stay, and it's very important for small businesses to leverage on this. It is very, very important. The world is going digital. Like in the past couple of weeks, in fact, we have been having troubles getting cash and doing, even to get basic amenities now, you have to literally, for the smallest things, you have to do transfers. So that's why it is important for you, especially to stay in business, to implement this cashless system. We cannot emphasize this enough. Thank you so much to everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on this call. We appreciate you. As you know,